Good evening, everybody. We're back home in Australia. Very excited to be bringing you our final three
Hello.
webinars. There she is at the other end, my sis. I miss her. Now, finally, thank you so much for writing all those messages. As
Hi,
we,
how are you, everyone?
yes, we have been getting on.
Good to see you. You're back.
Yes, thank you. Thanks, Karen and Sam and Annette. And who else was there? Philip, he says he can hear us. Thank
And
you, Amanda saying welcome back.
thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Awesome. So tonight is the third of the a trifecta of webinars we've been bringing to you over the last 3 months. And we're super excited to share with you what we've got in store for tonight. And if you don't take lots of notes, then something's wrong. But we will also have a recording posted of this. So if you want to review it and watch it again, we will get it out to you in an email straight after the webinar. We love an interactive call, so just make sure that you guys are posting questions and comments, and we'll stop now and again to handle those. And we'll try not to talk too much off the top of each other. I can notice we have a little bit of a delay between myself and Francesca. So if there's some weird silence, it's because there's a little bit of
Yes, we do.
delay. Just if maybe if I can get Connie and Jenny who are on the call to type up in the questions box that you guys can see our webcam now, and that you can see the PowerPoint, just the title slide. That would be awesome, rather than having too many people going through and saying yes, yes, yes. But Jen, yes, that she has confirmed. That's cool. Awesome. So just to recap.
Connie, you need to write on Connie, you need to write on the question box, not on the chat box, please. So we keep everything on the question box, if that's okay.
Yeah, just use the questions box
Awesome.
in the chat box. Yeah, cool, guys. Awesome. All right, so let's recap what we have done so far. So by writing this book, Bums on Seats, Francesca and I divided it into 3 big parts. Actually, the biggest part of it was promote. And that's what we were talking about in the first couple of webinars. There was 8 segments to cover off around promotion, because we believe 80% of getting bums on seats is about promotion. And then each of the 10% are about prepare and profit. And that's why tonight's webinar is called How to Prepare and Profit from Your Events, Webinars, and Workshops and Retreats. And so we're covering off the last 4 segments. So prepare has 2, and profit has also 2. So if I open up the previous 8, you can see there we talked about tribal following, sheep effect, multiple efforts, which was all about collaboration, profitable speaking, engaging emails, Facebook impact, raving fans, and scaling up. And tonight we're going to dissect prepare, which is all about easy done. So how do you get really systemized so you rock up to your event super organized and looking professional?
Super organized.
Yes. And then famous clicker, which is all about how you create your presentations and what are some tips and tricks around those. And finally, we're going to finish off with show me the money, right? Profit. And that is how you profit from having sponsors. So sponsor power, and how you create those high-end top dollar programs, which is ultimately what will make your business viable, and you living the lifestyle that you desire, and being rewarded for the hard work that it takes to run events for, I've been doing it for 6.5 years, and I can tell you that it's not for the light-hearted, as we have said before. So let's get stuck into it, Francesca. Why don't you give these guys a few insights around easy done? And by the way, if you guys have comments or questions as we're talking about these topics, then post them, because we are going to stop and ask, and we won't wait for questions to be typed up. So you may as well have them already ready in the question box for us to address when we do stop. So, okay, easy done in under prepare. Francesca, what are your hot tips there?
Okay, so the most important thing on events is to make sure that you are prepared. There is nothing worse to see and organize an event that just run around and it's got nothing prepared. And the most important thing of running event for you is to collect emails. If you don't collect emails, if you don't have anything to collect emails with, then you're going to struggle on the night and you're going to have difficulties with contacting those people that came to your events. So one of the things that a lot of clients tell me says, oh, but I'll just grab the business card as they come in. But a lot of people don't get the business card with them when they go to events, unfortunately. So you put them in a situation that they come in and they go, oh, I don't have a business card with me. What do I do? So you want to be super prepared and you want to have a little slip of paper that says name, surname, email address, and name of the business or whatever question or information you want to get from your attendees. So it's really important to be prepared, and we always print a lot of those slips and we always have a lot more as well. And what we do as well is put a little release that you are allowed to take videos and use that for marketing and photos and things like that, which is always really good for your own security on running events. And then number two will be make a deal with the venues, right? A lot of people are afraid of running events because they say, oh, I don't know if I can cover cost of the venue, so I don't want to put myself in risk, so I'm not going to run an event. And instead, what you got to do is think the other way around. What does the venue owner wants? What's the venue general manager wants? They want a fully booked place all year round. They want a loyal client that will keep coming back and booking week in and week out. So what we use as a strategy is to book the whole year with the same venue, and that way you can make a good deal and they're going to give you a good discount and you're going to save money, and also you're going to be able to promote them. So it's a win-win situation for both of you. And I love this one, and all my clients and Natasha and I, we always use it and make a really strong relationship with the venue. So you just keep going back, and it's easier for you as well to set up once you know the venue as well. And then we go to the third one, which is organize your lucky draw prizes, sponsors, and we're going to talk about sponsor later on, and speakers for the whole year. So you know your date for the year, you know everything is organized, you know when the next event is. Natasha, you always still tell your clients to make sure that you remember the dates as well, which is really important. And what is important is to organize with the speakers, the lucky draw prizes, so you don't procrastinate, because when you start to run events more and more and more often, you're going to get busy, you're going to get flood of clients, and if you're not organized, you're going to stop running events. And if you stop running events, that's a really bad for your business, because you're going to stop your leads. Natasha, you got amazing tips about how to get organized. So what are your 3 tips?
I love it. Okay, so for me, I have to say that this year I have been able to outsource a lot of these tips that I'm going to share here, or delegate, if you like, which was very hard for me to do to begin with. But luckily, thanks to you, I was able to find my virtual assistant, and I've been super happy with her for the last 8 months, which means that everything that I had created for myself, I could pass on to her. So that is, I always have checklists for various types of events. Sometimes I'm just the keynote speaker who doesn't need a PowerPoint, and I just need to rock up with my books and my my slips or whatever it is, sign-up sheets or whatever it is. So I have separate checklists for separate events. So if it's an event that has audio-visual, then I take a different set of things. If it's a venue that doesn't have anything at all and I need to bring it all myself, then I pull out that checklist. If it's an expo, obviously expos require a lot more product, a lot more setup, and you want to remember all the little bits and pieces like blue tack and sticky tape and scissors and things like that you may need. So you have a different checklist. So you have to have that packing checklist, because when you get to the point where, like ourselves, we're running 100 events, not running ourselves personally 100 events, but collectively we're probably running 50 of our own events and speaking at 50 of other people's events. We have to be unpacking and packing probably day in and day out. This week I've got 3 events back to back, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, which means I have to be really quick with my systems and checklists to know what to pack. So that's super, super important. And where do you start? You start at your first event and you just keep refining and editing those checklists and templates. And we've got some that we've included in our book, haven't we? Yeah. Okay, another big one.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, so these kind of checklists, look, I have to keep updating and doing myself. So this is something that I don't really outsource. I have to see what I need physically, but then I can get the help of Stuart, my husband, who can pack my bags and he can put everything because he's going up against the checklist. And you've got Becky who can help you pack all your bags before you go to an event, which is a luxury you may not have in the early days. In that case, you just have to pack your own bags. Secondly, accommodation and travel. I book everything in 6-month chunks. So for now, everything's booked up to the end of December. Come sort of November, I'll start booking everything all the way to June. So I sit down. Well, now actually I've delegated that also to Stuart, who knows who I like to fly with, what times of day I want to arrive when I'm at certain cities. And we also, as you said, we've got the certain venues that we use in Adelaide, in Perth, in Sydney, in Brisbane, and we've got the same venue. So we just need to contact the venue, lock in the date, and they know we're going to turn up and they trust us because we've never cancelled on them. And also we can book in the accommodation. I tend to stay with Airbnb when I go and travel to other places. And like what we did on the plane coming home, Francesca, we booked to travel to Adelaide and Perth next year together because we thought, why don't we crew for each other as well as save on some accommodation costs and all that sort of stuff. So so that was, a really fun thing to do. And also we'll end up looking a lot more professional with the people there. Rather than I'm going to Perth and Adelaide next week and I actually have 25 people coming to each of those events, which is going to be a madhouse, me trying to manage it. But I do have some helpers local there that will come and help out. And last of all, this is something that was really, really time consuming last year for me, is the pre-event and post-event emails. So pre-events, I send out 3 logistics emails to remind people that the event's coming up. Where do they need to come? Where do they park around the venue? What sort of parking situation is there? Do they need to bring food, snacks? Is there any drinks available? Things like that. So there's 3 of these emails that go out at 10 days, at 3 days, and at 24 hours out. Additionally to that, this year we started sending out text messages, one at 3 days out, because sometimes people, for some reason, don't get that email, and they have to respond, yes, I've got the information. If they don't, they'll get sent another text message 24 hours before the event. So that's something that's automated and my virtual assistant can do. So she actually schedules and puts in the calendar all of the logistics emails, what day needs to go out, say, for example, now for the upcoming Sydney, Adelaide, Perth, Gold Coast, Brisbane, all of those events. And that's now off my to-do list, and she does it. As soon as an event is finished, she sends a thank you post-event email with some gifts that I normally give to my attendees or anything that I have promised. And also what we tend to do for my introductory author events is send out a physical send-out card, which she needs to input everyone's postal addresses, put in a photo, and then send it off to those people, which these tasks that I've just explained used to be so time-consuming and so draining that this is something that's perfectly to be outsourced to a virtual assistant, as well as obviously she could almost book in my flights and accommodation, but I tend to like to delegate that to Stuart because he knows what I like and is more, if you like, local. So there's quite a lot to prepare when you think about it. So let's just stop for a second. Vanessa just asked, is there going to be a replay? Yes, it'll be on my YouTube channel, Vanessa. So, but also we will send that link of the replay in a thank you email. As there are logistics for face-to-face seminars, there are obviously logistics for webinars as well. And a webinar follow-up must happen either within few hours of the webinar ending. I try to get everything done within the hour of the webinar ending, or within the next morning, pretty much. Otherwise, people go cold. Sam, great advice, ladies. You are both legends. Thanks, Sam. Okay, a couple more questions. Where do you book your airfares and accommodation? So I think I explained that with Airbnb. I use Airbnb. I actually am not. I'm not too precious on where I go and stay. I just because wherever I go, I'm hardly ever in the place. I literally only need 8 hours of sleep, and then I've got meetings and other speaking gigs and things like that. So I'm actually not into 5-star kind of stuff. I actually prefer to be with people in their home, using one of their rooms and actually have some social interaction. Because we're European, we like to feel like we're at home wherever we go. So I use Airbnb and accommodation. Just I check all the different websites. Qantas is our preferred airline, right, Francesca?
Yes, we love one.
Yes, yes, and but we will also check Jetstar and Virgin for the local flights. Okay. Do you work out? Go on.
Do you work out when you travel, or do you find it's hard to schedule in? Well, we all know that Natasha put her personal trainer on Skype, and she does session on Skype even from Perth at 5 o'clock in the morning, isn't it?
Yes, I do, and I've made my commitment to find the time in the day. So next week I'll be in Adelaide and Perth all week. Next week there'll be 2 Skype PT sessions and 2 other sessions I'll do on my own, because that's my routine that I work out for 4 times a week. And it's and even when we travelled in Europe, I did it, and she didn't do it as much as I did.
I did it, and I made a commitment that from this year, and I started last Wednesday. I'm gonna do it as well 4 times a week. I'm gonna exercise, and absolutely, it's really important. And I have felt so tired when I didn't do it. Then we got Philip that says, good news about checklists. I have mine in the cloud so that I can make changes when on seminars and update whenever I have to. Absolutely, Philip. I have everything on Asana at the moment. I'm using Asana as a checklist, which is for me and my team amazing. Natasha, you do have everything as well on cloud. We work on cloud as well.
Yes. Hmm.
And Gerald says, travel with the same airline and get frequent flyer points. Yes, Qantas, of course. That's it. I'm nearly gold. I can't wait. Okay, we're going to move on to the next slide.
She's a bit more fanatical about Qantas. All right, let's move on to the next section, which is famous clicker.
Yay, the famous clicker. So Natasha and I call the clicker the famous clicker because when you have the clicker in your hands, people straight away perceive you as a person of influence, right? They perceive you as successful already on Facebook and on live events as well. So we want to make sure that you have a little presentation with you when you speak because you look more famous, right? Mm-hmm. And on top of it, the presentation will help you to don't lose track, because if you are a little bit like Natasha and I, that we like to talk a lot, then you lose track of what you're talking and you just can talk for hours and hours and hours, and you lose track of time. Instead of the PowerPoint, especially for me, that Natasha has been speaking for 6 years, so of course you can do keynotes without PowerPoints as well. But for me, it really helped me to be on point and don't be too late, because I used to tend to leave the last few slides on the last 2 minutes, which is not enough time. So one of the things that is important for me is make your presentation fun. Put images. Don't put a lot of text that it becomes all boring. Make it fun. Make it like put some fun photos like we just did here with Natasha. That looks like she's getting all excited in that photo. What is this photo? And yeah, so we make it fun. We try to match your personality. So if you are someone that is fun, do your PowerPoints that are fun. If you are someone that is serious, keep it serious, but make it simple so people can actually read them and look at them. One of the things that I say here is video and audio as well. So make sure that you use some videos to make it fun. Sometimes we in our half-day workshops, we do share videos of our the experiences that we share at the 2-day. So the video help people to connect in different ways as well, and also the audio. So there's a lot of we found from a lot of other amazing speakers as well that they put music with the PowerPoints as well, because it helps people remember them. The whole point of having a good PowerPoint and do a good presentation is to have people to remember you. And what a better way to use a famous song or a great video to do that. And the other thing is, I love to always have your branding on the PowerPoint. So, for example, Natasha and I, for these bumps on seat, we decided one way to do the PowerPoints, which is stick to our colors, and if you can see, it matches our book, so there is the same colors. They are there, the white, and of course the black. The black is our background. So it's always important to stick to the branding, because people will remember you from the same colors. And Natasha, you got amazing tips on the PowerPoint that you always use, and I always love your PowerPoint because they're very easy to read as well.
Yeah, one thing I'll just backtrack about video and audio. Please, forever I have had so many troubles around obviously having the correct equipment so people can hear the video and audio in the room. And I used to travel with this Marley speaker, which was a Bluetooth speaker and nearly weighed 3 kilos. But recently, Francesca, do you have Boom near you? So Francesca's got a little speaker, which is we call it Boom. It actually is called like that. And I don't know, it's $150 on eBay. I got mine from after I saw how effective it was, because it only weighs about half a kilo, but it lets out enough sound for a good 25 to 30 people room to have music and to have the video play through that. And it's connectable through Bluetooth, but also you can use it for personal use, like in your bathroom when you're having a shower or something like that. And we took it overseas, and we were having parties on the beach as well. But it's really handy for traveling. So that's what I wanted to sort of add in there. Forever, I am looking for ways of fighting the audio to come through when I'm doing the presentation. So make sure you're like very, very versed at if it disconnects, how do you quickly reconnect it? And how do you not freak out when something like that sort of happens? Because it has happened. That's been one of the most techie challenged I have been around audio in my experience, and it continues to sort of just pop up here and there. Like just when you want it to work, it doesn't, or it switches off. Okay, so on to my tips. So you noticed, yeah, I love using at least one image on each slide, even if you have a lot of writing, always to have an image. Like, see what's relevant to what you're talking about and put that on there. It just breaks it up. And also, you guys know this, but 65% of your audience are visual and they like to have images to look at. There's Boom. Is that Boom? Yeah.
Because I also feel the ask is UE. The brand of it is UE, as you can see here. Is the U and an E.
Yeah, UE.
It's called Boom UE, and it's very simple.
Yeah, cool. And also a format to set up your slides. So this is so when you're doing a PowerPoint, a lot of people what do you start talking about? How do you plaster all these slides in what particular order? And I tend to teach the format system. It's actually 4 and then MAT, and it's about talking about when you're doing a presentation, the why, the what, the how, and the what if. So if I can track you back for when we started the series of webinars, not so much today. We wanted to just jump into the content because a lot of you guys are following this series of webinars. But we talked about why people wanted to run events, what was so important about bums on seats, and we really figured out what the benefits are, and we cranked up pain and pleasure around running events, right? And then we talked about, okay, well, today we're going to talk about the what. And we did this at this webinar. We talked to you about what we've already covered off and then what we were going to cover off the 4 segments today. So that was the what section. And now we're right into the how. So we're going into step by step by step into each of the 4 segments. But at the end of every slide or each segment, we stop and look for comments and look for questions. What that covers off is the what if. And the what if is when people have comments or questions, or perhaps they have objections around what you have said, and you have to stop and address those before you move on to the next section of the presentation. So every webinar, every presentation, every keynote, I always do. How I set up my slides is always why, what, how, what if. Like, for example, tomorrow I'm doing one for my inner circle, how to speak for free for profit. And I go, so why would you want to speak for free? Then I go, then what does it mean? Where and what types of places would you speak for free? And then how do you go about it? There's 3 steps on how you go about it. And then I'll stop and cover off some points. So because the more you speak and run events, the less words you will need on your slides. And as Francesca said, I almost nowadays end up being a little bit lazy and just put a picture on because I know exactly what I need. Yeah, the prompt is the little picture, and I don't actually like to put too many words down because I like for people to have their own free will to write down whatever insights are coming up for them. So for me, less is more, and I'd rather deliver stuff more naturally and free flowing because I'm confident in what I know and my abilities. Whereas if I'm not and it's something new that I'm teaching, I need a little bit more of a crutch. But definitely, always, when it comes to Famous Clicker and your PowerPoint, ensure that you have a plan B and C. Make sure you print off your PowerPoint slides on, like those on 3 per page, and have them with you. If the technology lets you down, that you actually have like a bit of a run sheet as to what you need to deliver, because you need to get to a point where you'll be self-confident enough to step up and just do the presentation without anything. Just you. You are enough, right? Cool. Let's have a look what
we can do as well is put your PowerPoint on a Dropbox, and then you can have it on your phone or on your iPad. So we always bring more than one device, so I make sure that I don't run out of options to put my PowerPoint in. Also put it in a USB as well.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, just a couple of logistical comments. I won't actually read those that were up there. So this is the time and the opportunity to actually either say how awesome we're doing, right? Oh, thank you. There we go. Great content. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Lisa, yeah, nice to see you as well. Or to ask and comment on things. There we go. Cool chicks from Fred. Okay, a couple of other comments. Andrea. The boom comes also with a floater for the bathtub.
Wow. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. Cool. Okay, everyone, get the boom. It's so good. I have to say it's one of my best investments after knowing how good it is. Awesome from Amanda. Okay, what's this comment? Do you want to read it, Francesca?
Yeah, Gerald is saying with the PowerPoint, you should also go back to the back of the room and see if you can read everything. That's true. A lot of people put very small, words, and you can't read it from the back. Should not have sentences on the slides, bullet points only. That's great advice. Thank you, Gerald. Fred is saying cool chicks, and Amanda saying, yes, that's awesome. Warren is saying you are delivering as usual. That's really
good to know. Good to know, because I am feeling a little bit rusty. Like I'm kind of going, these are my first couple of little webinars, seminars that I'm starting. Even like I'm so nervous for my Wednesday home event. I was telling Stuart, I go, do you reckon I still have it? Because I've only been away for a month, but I kind of feel like I've switched off from the seminar world. And now that we're kind of come back after a month of laying on the beach, it's like, are we going to be just as good? See, all those doubts prop up in our heads too.
Yeah, of course. Annette is saying, working for me, ladies. You still have it. Amanda said, what type of faces do you tend to use for your presentation? What type of faces? Just the one that I've got?
I don't know what that means. Let us know, Philip. Thanks, Yashina, saying hey girls, it would be great to get a copy of all 3 of your webinars. Yes, we'll put the links of all 3 in the thank you email. We're always very good with our logistics that way. And Fred said I killed it at Mac 7. Thanks, Fred. Thank you. Awesome. Faces. Oh, good question. I love Calibri. I'm like married to Calibri, and this presentation's the Calibri, but I have heard someone say that you should always use Arial. because every single computer in the world has Arial. And no matter where you go for keynotes and things like that, you're not going to have issues with the font. So that's the tip, but I'm kind of married to Calibri, so I keep using that one.
Yeah.
Hey, Kylie, nice to see you. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We've got one more question from Sam.
Okay.
If your first bunch of webinars are this good, I can't wait to see how you guys are in a year. Very informative. I really pay for this.
Don't worry,
Sam,
I'm asking you to pay later. There'll be an awesome, I said there'll be an awesome, cool, amazing bundle offer to actually come and hang out with us, which is even better. Like, all right, guys. All right, let's keep going. What's our next one? Spot power. Go, Francesca.
Okay, awesome. So this is my favorite one actually because I love to get sponsors for events. So this is a really cool subject that we have in the book and also on the online course. We separate this in two different ways. I look after the part of I get sponsors to sponsor my events, and Natasa is already been in business for 6 years, so she actually sponsors the events where her audience is hanging out. So Natasha is going to talk more about that. I'm going to talk about how to get a sponsor for your event. And what I see is that I love to see on Facebook when people promote events, and you can see the difference between saying, hey, I've got this event with this speaker coming along, I'd love to see you there. But when you see a post that says, I've got an event coming up and we are sponsored from this gold sponsor, diamond sponsor, and you put big names, people go, wow, this event must be good if they got this such a big sponsors, right? So it's really important for you as a business owner, if you're running an event, you have to make sure that you get a sponsor that is famous even in your local area. It doesn't need to be Westpac Bank. You can just get whoever is famous in your local area or for your attendees. So how we do that? Well, we use the sponsorship to find sponsors, but also to promote the event, right? So what we'll go on Facebook and we'll post on our business page, on our personal page, sometimes in our groups. Natasha and I, we both have big communities on Facebook. So you just post and you say, hey guys, I'm looking for a sponsor for our next event. We're looking to have around 50 to 100 business owners, and we'd love to have a sponsor to sponsor our event. And that's really gets a lot of attention because everyone wants to promote their business, so they see an opportunity for them to promote their business. And what you can give them in exchange is to have a trading table, to give away prizes, maybe even talk for 5 minutes. There's so many different things that you can negotiate to exchange with a sponsor. In exchange, you can get either money, so $200, $50, depends on how big the audience is, or you can get covered cost of the venue, or you can get a really big prize, like the prize for the night. It's up to you how you want to negotiate it with the sponsor, but there is so many things that you can organize and get, and it's really cool. Every single time we post that we're looking for sponsors, comments just keep coming, and even after weeks that we posted it, people go, you still need a sponsor for this event, because people love to showcase their business. It's really important. One other thing, as I just mentioned, is the hot offer. So make sure that if you do approach businesses to be your sponsor of your event, you can just say, hey, I just want $250, and you be the sponsor, because they don't see the value in it. So you have to explain that they can have a trading table on the night or on the day of the event, where they can showcase and speak to people. You're gonna put the logo in every single email that you're gonna send out to your old database. You're gonna put their logo on every photo that you use to promote the event. You're gonna make sure that you share with them the value of what they're paying for is enough to actually commit to it. I love having sponsors, and they always get a lot of business out of it. So it's a bit daunting at the beginning. The first time that I did it, I was so scared, and I was always going to check and say, are you getting value? Are you getting clients? Is it good? And I go, oh, this is amazing. So it's really important for you to make sure that they are happy, because if they are, then they might become your platinum sponsors and just be the sponsor forever. And then the last one is, as I mentioned it quickly before, is to give them a chance to speak. A lot of business owners, if they've been around for a while, they know the power of being in front of an audience. It's priceless. So a lot of people will want to pay you to be in front of your audience, if you can guarantee, of course, a certain number of attendees at the event. So also at the beginning, or later on when you're more advanced in running events, it's always really cool to do that and to offer your sponsors to speak. It's really cool. We're getting as a sponsor, we're asking as a sponsor to the Minister of Small Businesses in Queensland for our Christmas party. And imagine when you advertise the Christmas party by saying that the sponsor is the Minister of Small Businesses, it just gives you another, oh wow, this event is a professional event, is a real event. Yeah. And what about you, Natasha? You have been using that on the other side, which is you have been the sponsor of a lot of events.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like you said, the people who are looking for sponsors do really need to position themselves in a way that you can really foresee what the value for you is. But what is on offer isn't always the final thing. So, what I actually, the sponsorships that I became a part of, there was three big ones late last year for all of this year. I negotiated all three to have different things happen for me. It wasn't just I took the stock standard, you get this, and this is how much it'll cost. I went back and I said, well, can I have this instead over this? I would prefer this because I know how I gain my clients and I know how I will have the most impact and get my return on investment. So it is a big leap of faith, and I would only become because I became a sponsor at a high level. You can also become a sponsor at a lower level, as you say, for a few $100 or 150. As you say, into the smaller events. But I sponsored three different places, which were high four figures and one was five figures. And that was something that I had to set a goal in terms of what was going to be my outcome. So after the 12 months of being a sponsor of these three places, what was the goal that I wanted to have achieved in terms of my business exposure and also clients? So how many sales would I have wanted to come through as a result of those sponsorships. And I have to say that have been a wonderful opportunity. I don't know if I would do three all at once again next year because I wanted to see how I would go and see where would be the most valuable place to be a sponsor at. And I think I have decided what I will do next year because I always like to try different new things. So I might cut it back down to one, but one big one that I'm a sponsor of. And then, of course, I'm traveling to the US next year. So that's something that I will be investing in terms of taking my business over there. So at the end of the day, as I say here, it has to be a win-win outcome. So they have to be super happy with you and you have to be super happy with how it's been set up. And I have to say my experiences have been wonderful and definitely have got more than my return on investment from those, as well as I know that this something to realize with becoming a sponsor, it's not an instant fix, a magic bullet where you're going to pick up clients instantly. It might occasionally happen that way, but actually it has a bit of a sort of residual effect where your brand gets exposed, people keep seeing it, and maybe 6, 7, 12 months down the track. So I think the sponsorships that I'm undertaking these 12 months perhaps will have lots of sales also come through in 2017 because of my exposure. So very much so often when we invest in Facebook advertising, in becoming sponsors, in being at expos, sometimes the sales don't come right then and there. But because your brand is constantly being seen and ingrained in people's subconscious minds, when people come and see you, you actually can backtrack as to where it all came from. Often I ask my attendees, like the ones that will be coming to my home on Wednesday and Thursday, I go to them, well, how did you find this? Was it Facebook? They go, and then often they'll say to me, yes, it was Facebook. I've been seeing your ads the whole year. And I finally got around to coming in end of September. And that's the thing, advertising works. You just got to be patient, and sponsorship works. You got to be patient, and yes, it's a higher level strategy. But again, you can start small, as you say. You've been getting sponsors for your events, which is awesome way to pay for a lot of expenses that come in running events. And I've obviously been a sponsor and been at the other end, and I think as long as you're not after a magic bullet, it works well. All right, let's stop
Yeah,
for
we've got a few
comments.
questions.
Okay, Adair she finally made it. Welcome. Gerald, when making a presentation, if you have butterflies in your stomach, the secret is to get them all flying in the same direction. Nice one. Annette, I like that approach on Facebook and giving them that exposure and their logos and emails. This was what you said about the
Yes.
exposing the sponsors. Do you have
Yes, sponsors.
do you have tips? Do you give tips to the sponsors on what to say? Presentation structure from Gerald. Maybe you answer that.
Yeah, so there is an outline on they're not allowed to sell or to to be too forward, of course, because that's not the point of the night of my events in general. So yes, I do give them a little bit of a structure, but not too much. Sometimes I've got a sponsor actually today that sent me an email and she asked, please help me. What do you want me to say? And I did have a chat with her saying, just very simple. My events are very easygoing, so it doesn't need to be anything super special. So it depends actually on the experience of the sponsor. Some sponsors actually do know what to say, but yeah, I will give them a little bit of a guideline on not to oversell on the night or over being pushy or give away flyers or something like that if they're not allowed to. That's absolutely yes. Fiona says, which group on Facebook do you use to ask for sponsors? Sorry, I've missed that part. Well, I've got my own group, Entrepreneurs Abundance Mindset, and Natasha's group is really good as well, Ultimate Business Support. I would say the best thing, Fiona, is to find where your target market, where your audience hang out on Facebook, and be active on that before you ask for sponsors and stuff like that. So be every day posting a little bit and commenting on other people until you build that trust. Those are two that I would suggest. There are a lot of other groups. Just find the right one for you. Would you agree, Nat?
Yeah, totally. And of course, the sponsors that you're looking for are the ones that would share your target market as well. So they're not in competition with you, but they share the same target market.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
They said cheers. And we got Andrea asking one question. Are you only looking for sponsors on Facebook or in person as well, events and door to door? I look for sponsors everywhere. So everywhere I go, when I go to other people events, I always keep in mind that I'm always looking for venues, guest speakers, and sponsors. So those are the three things that I always look as an event organizer and as a business owner, because I want to connect with those type of people anyway. So yes, I do always keep that in mind, and I always try to connect with people like that. Also online, even if it's LinkedIn, if I see that someone is sponsoring an event, I might ask them if they want to sponsor our event next time. I hope that I answered that question correctly, Andrea. And hi to both of you ladies, loving this seminar. Fiona, thank you so much. Fiona said thank you for the fantastic tips, and Andrea said thank you, hips. That's so cool, so many thank yous. Last one.
Awesome. So let's move on to our last segment, and that is top dollar, which is where we finally get to the strategies of how you monetize your audience, your events. And usually, to get to the top dollar, a lot of people see me do these retreats 4 times a year, which attract approximately 20 authors each time. And our program, our high-end program, is $19,000. And they see this and they go, oh my God, you do the sums of what that means. But what they don't see is all the 100 events, as we spoke about, that have been executed throughout the year, which means that sequence of steps, which is what Francesca's first point is there, take your time. So I'll let her cover that off. That has happened in the amount of effort and work and travel and conversations and people to find those needles in a haystack that become the top dollar or top end clients, if you like. Do you want to go through your ones and then I'll cover off mine?
Yes. Yes, so they're absolutely right. The most important thing that at the beginning I was comparing myself with people successful like Natasha, and I was looking, going, oh, how am I gonna get there? I can't sell that much. And also my business coach at the time was saying that my 2-day course was too cheap, and I had to put my price up, and I had to start with $3,000 2-day course, and I was like, oh, I don't think I can sell that. So if you don't believe it, if you don't feel that that's the value, even if you know that you would have paid for it, but it's really hard to, at the beginning, to realize. The first time I got someone that paid for my 2-day course $999, I cried. I was like, I can't believe someone paid $1,000 for me. So the mindset, even the money mindset grows as your business grows. So for me now, I see the value in what I'm teaching to my clients, the results they're getting. So of course I go, of course I need to charge more, because they're doing amazing, and I'm teaching so much, and the value that I'm sharing is huge. So I feel it's value more, and if I believe it, then other people will believe it. So it's really important for you to take your time and don't just jump like some business coaches suggest, to jump to high level. Even now, I've got a lot of people telling me that my course is super cheap and I should put my price up, and I will slowly but surely, but at my pace when I'm ready.
Yeah.
So the other one that I always like to cover is, yeah, as I said, start to a low price, and don't wait until everything is perfect. A lot of people start to run events, small events, and maybe small workshops, and they don't think they have enough value to run a 2-day workshop, or they don't have enough trust that everything is ready. So they want to write the manual first. They want to have everything perfect, like they say, that all the ducks line up until before they do the course. Instead, it's the opposite. I did my course before I didn't even have a client. I did it for a very cheap price to try it out and see how would that go. And I saw the results, and what people were saying was amazing. So I thought, all right, well, maybe I can do this. Maybe this could be a business that can go. So just don't wait to get everything done before you try it in the market, because if not, you might waste time. Maybe nobody wants it, and then you spend hours and months to create all this, and then you don't have it. So it's really important for us to, we do the same thing, Natasha. We just try the market first before we create anything major.
Yeah, well,
Um,
what I
do you want to go to yours? And
yeah,
then we'll read the questions.
yeah, for sure. Well, what I do is I don't do anything but a table of value. And a table of value is a spreadsheet which will have all the inclusions on the left-hand side in the first column. It'll have 3 different levels of whatever my program is. It'll have a mixture of tangibles and intangibles. So intangibles are your service-based offerings that you will give. Francesca, I think, is flipping back to the back of our book to show you guys what a table of value looks like. And then the tangibles are books, products, manuals, and things like that that I would give people. And then I have bonuses that outweigh what the actual offering is as well. The bonuses are just as much value as the offering is. And that's the only thing. This piece of paper, show them, there it is. This piece of paper, this spreadsheet, which up until recently, my ultimate 48-hour author spreadsheet was very basic. It did not have any graphic design, yet I had put through 130 people through my program and finally did a pretty pink one and dolled it up. But basically, to talk people through what I had to offer and the value that was in this particular program, I had to understand my table of value really well, and to obviously back myself. I also started that particular program at a price. I've increased my price 5 times over 3 years in the program as I became, my systems became stronger, my results were delivered faster and faster every single time. And also we added additional items on our table of value to increase the value more and more as we went on. So, so creating one of those, you don't have to have anything. You just have to have the trust within you that you can deliver what you've said. All I said is I think I can teach people how to write a book in 48 hours because I had written one myself. And then I went and looked for a couple of suppliers to quote me. I priced up a table of value and I went showing people. I had nothing else. I had no venue book. The only other thing that I did have, aside from a table of value, was the date of my very first retreat. So having a date and working backwards from that date is what really makes you committed to running such an event, such a big event, right? If you're ever going to do something as big as that, always give yourself minimum for more so 6 to 8 months when you're starting out brand new to make that event a success and a reality, because the lead up into a high-end event has to be a lot longer than a lead into a small half-day workshop or a webinar. So webinars have the smallest lead in. We've only been promoting this one for 4.5 days, literally, and we've got over 150 people registered, over 50 live on the call at the moment, which is a huge turnout. So that's super valuable. And bonuses around what you've got to offer. Do you have a special bonus that you can give a limitation of a time frame around what people so if you make a decision, our one usually is when people come to our workshop, if you make a decision within 48 hours of this event and you want to join us, we are going to give you an extra 400 printed books instead of the 100, so 500 in total. And so what that means is that there's so much return on investment if you get 500 printed books over 100. And I can tell you, I'm dead set on this. There's no way going back. If someone does not take up that bonus within 48 hours, they're not getting it outside of that period. I had a lady ring me after 2 months of her event today and said, I want to come to the November one. And she said, are there any special deals? I said, I'm sorry. The package is now 100 books for you. You can come and join us. You're more than welcome to, but that bonus was only available. Don't do and go against your own word. That's incongruent, and you've turned out to be like a liar, right? I hate that. Okay, cool. Let's look at
comments.
Yeah.
So we got Adair saying, love the sequence of steps. Yes. So I think that was back.
Yeah,
all the slides.
Said the sequence of steps into like a big high-end event. Yeah.
Yes. And then Philip is saying test and measure. So that's what I was saying here at the beginning. Gerald is saying an artist is not paid for his labor, but for his vision. Thank you, Gerald, for that. I think it's what I can do for you, not what you choose to pay for. Absolutely. Ade, you want to read this one out?
Yeah, I love what I heard you both saying about not waiting until everything is perfect. I've started recruiting members for my member hub, and it's not live yet. Your idea. Thank you, girls. You're welcome. Fred says, I remember telling my wife about Franken's mastermind for 1990. She thought it was for $19.90 rather than love it. Andrea, thanks for your honesty. My first workshop was next to the main kitchen of a sports club about dream building. We had so much fun, and the attendees will never forget, and results came of it. So no, it doesn't need to be perfect, and I'm a very organized German. I love it. Philip just said good idea. Okay, Fiona, a couple of questions. Do you offer the super bonus only to higher level out of all the 3 levels? No, the super bonus gets offered for all of the different levels. Our one, though, would exist in our middle level because the lower one doesn't include publishing. So it just depends how your table is set up.
Only the 2 top levels as well, yeah.
And she also added on how, I love the way Francesca is saying about what when you are okay, raise your price, and Natasha tips on table of value is massive. Yeah, totally, because unless you truly believe you're worth,
I think
I would have never charged $19,000 when I started Ultimate 48 Hours. I would have just fall over and I wouldn't have been able to even say it. And now I say it, and I kind of go, well, it's going to go up again. Belle says, how did you know how to structure your funnel when you first got started? I didn't. I don't think we both did. We just kind of figured it out. We just did the do, and worked out, oh, this works. Oh, this doesn't. This doesn't. This doesn't. Oh, this seems to be working.
What's important as well is to listen what your clients want and when they ask you. So I mentioned this a lot, and it's really important. So what the clients want, they will tell you where to take it if you trust and just start somewhere. Absolutely.
And
Fiona says, thank you.
And I'm still testing my funnel. Actually, this Wednesday and Thursday, I'm doing an extended version at my home of my introductory event to my retreat. and it's a 10 to 5 version. But I've realized after trialing 5 or 6 of them this year that my 9 to 1, which is a 4-hour event, works just as well. So I won't be doing any more 10 to 5. So I'm still testing things like that. And
Yeah, absolutely.
you girls are amazing. Can't wait for the 2-day in October. Yes, we're about to talk about that, Megan.
And Zin says, "Hi, Francesca, Natasha, congratulations for your ever-growing success. What keeps you going? What's the biggest secret? Thank you for inviting me in this webinar. Great stuff. Thumbs up, very informative. Expect that I'll still be following you future events, Zin. Thank you so much."
Let's answer that one at the end once we have told them about our super awesome 2-day event. So do you want to take them through?
Yes, absolutely. So what we covered today is what is on the book and what's in our amazing online course as well. And because the online course and the book is going crazy and everyone is loving it and the amazing results they're getting, Natasha and I are so passionate about it that we decided to do also a masterclass live. So we're going to do 2 at this stage. We're going to do 1 in October and 1 in March next year, and we're going to cover all the things that are listed down here. So the trouble following, ship effect, so all the promotion parts that Natasha covered at the beginning of this webinar, the multiple efforts, profitable speaking, engaging emails, Facebook impact, raving fans, and scaling up, and in depth as well, all the 4 steps that we covered today. So easy done, famous clickers, sponsor, power, and top dollars. So it's going to be an amazing, it is an amazing online course, and that's why we decided to add to it the masterclass as well. So it's 2 full-on days. We're going to do 1 in Melbourne and 1 in Brisbane for all our followers. So the dates are Melbourne, Wednesday and Thursday, 26th and 27th of October. It's going to be in Doncaster, 9 to 5. And it's going to be, of course, myself and Natasha both live together. The powerhouse wogs, the bubbly wogs are going to be reunited again. So you're going to be more than welcome to join us. And also we're going to do it in Brisbane, Tuesday and Wednesday, 21st and 22nd of March. Now, some of you already been at the masterclass that Natasha runs in Melbourne. So this is going to be a different one. It's going to be about bums on seats. So it's going to be the masterclass just regarding how to fill your events. So 2 full-on days with a lot of information. Make sure you bring your pen ready to write. So this usually is valued at $3,997, but we are super happy to offer it to our close network, just to the people that attend our webinars and our network, for 247 at this stage, which is super crazy cheap, right? We were just talking about prices. Also, we would like to show you the online course that we have. So the online course was so much fun to record it at your house, Natasha, back in February. It's a 12 half-an-hour videos. So we got videos of Natasha and I together. So a lot of people that got it, they're saying that it's really easy to follow because they can also listen to it while they drive in the car if they don't have time to watch it, because they know that we attached the checklist with it. So we share with you in our easy done part our important checklist. So we gave you a checklist for each chapter of the 12 videos, which is really good for you. And you're also going to get the Bums on Seat group, which is a secret group on Facebook that you get Natasha and I 24 hours a day. We reply to all the questions. We are there for you all the time to support you on filling up your events. So this course is amazing. And Natasha, you go on this bit.
Yeah, I know. I'm clicking the PowerPoint from my end, and you're kind of talking from there. So basically, the online course, we have tons of value. It's probably a great place to start before you come to the actual live event. Oops, yeah. Hang on, I've gone too far now. Here we go. And as Francesca said, includes all the professional filmed videos, checklists, special 24/7 personal support for just our online course members, which is normally valued at $3,787, and it's just $2.97. You can buy these two things separately, but tonight we're actually bundling them up, and that's what we wanted to talk to you about, as well as giving you our 2 additional books. So in ebook format, Francesca's first book, Follow Me, Shut Up and Build Your Network, right? And my Ultimate 48-Hour Author book, which will electronically. So all of this that you see on this particular slide will be released to you immediately. Like as soon as we receive an order, we'll set you up and you can start watching this stuff, getting the checklist, reading all the other books, and then just waiting to attend your masterclass. So as you know, so separately you can get the face-to-face training for $247. Separately, you can get all of the online course for $297, which will come through in an email with a link. But more so tonight, we wanted to give you the opportunity to get the bundle, and we're only giving this bundle to 10 people on the call. So it is an investment of just $397 to get everything. So all the online stuff as well as the face-to-face, either for Melbourne or for Brisbane. So I've just posted the link in the chat box. It's only a PayPal button link because we don't have a special page for this. We are going to switch this off after the next 48 hours because I know some people couldn't be on the call, but we do suggest obviously whoever's on the call, first in best dressed, and let's do this and get you guys really mastering events. And we do funky things, as you can see here at the bottom of the picture with that was coloured hair wig day, wasn't it?
Yes, it was the best day. It was so much fun, and that's the thing. Natasha and I we love to make fun and of course a serious business as well. So it's gonna be a great time to spend together. If you're in Melbourne or in Brisbane, or if you're in Sydney or anywhere else, you can join us. We always have a lot of interest.
Fly down, fly
yes,
up,
we always
fly
have.
across.
We always have a lot of interstate at our events, so you're more than welcome to join us. And $397, only limited to 10 people. So please, please hurry and get your beautiful tickets now. So we want to cover the question of Zin.
Yes.
So what does keep us going?
Going. You go first.
Okay. Well, the thing that I realized, I always thought to be lazy, right? So this is really funny. And I always thought that I was a lazy person, that I was someone that doesn't finish anything, because that's how I believed, because I never have found my passion until this. So I think that my answer is, this is my passion. This is what keeps me driving. I don't need anyone to tell me, hey, you should do some work or you should do that. Like, I can't literally stop working. I love it. It's not work, it's fun. It's people give me energy. So for me, doing these webinars is actually what is my highlight of the day. So absolutely, the energy comes from you. The energy comes from the clients. The energy comes from helping people. So I think that's the answer for me. And I do, of course, meditate, and I do try as much as I can to keep healthy. I wasn't really good last year, but I usually am a lot better than I was last year. So this year I'll go back into my health and outside and inside. Yeah. What about you, Nat?
Same thing. I think we're social butterflies by nature. So if I'm not around people, I get really sad and low in my mood. So running events is something that I'm super passionate about. But at the same time, it's a great addiction to have, because it fulfills my need for significance, but it fulfills my need to contribute and grow and help other people. Because for example, this Friday is going to be quite emotional for me, because seeing 17 of my authors launch on the same night and hold these books, when I remember where they started and what they went through to get them done and all that sort of stuff. It's really, really amazing that how their lives have just absolutely transformed, and to know that through those authors that I'm transforming thousands of other lives. So really the ripple is truly spreading from what I did for myself, and then what I'm helping others do, and then what they're helping others do as well. So you can see it, whereas often in any other career or life, you cannot see the ripple as much as with what we do, because we're kind of right there with the people in there. And as I said, if we don't love what we do, there's no way we would have the energy to do this. As you said, we'll be probably buzzing for the next 2 hours. I need to calm myself right down. And yeah, so I'm similar to you. Okay, so There's another quote shared by Gerald who says, if we wait for the moment when absolutely everything is ready, we shall never begin. And I always say my favorite thing I say is the best time to start something is when you're not ready. Because when the hell were you ready? When things were really tough, were you ready to change your life when it did change? It didn't. So last time you made a huge decision, you most likely, if you think about it, you were not ready to make that decision. Sydney's not on our cards, Andrew, unfortunately, for Masterclass. So that will have to await, because we're going to tackle Adelaide and Perth for smaller events next year. Certainly we come for our smaller events with Francesca. We'll be there on the 26th and 27th of September, Andrew, actually. And I don't think I have anything on the 26th. So if you want to do dinner, tell me if you want to do dinner.
Okay. I'll be there on the 12th and 13th of October, Andrea, for my own events as well. But with for this one, I would strongly recommend that you fly. It will be really good. There will be a lot of people interstate as well. So just come and join us.
Awesome.
Then we got Dean saying, off the record, I mentioned you guys off the record. That means she doesn't want us to read it.
Yeah, don't read it. That's what that means. Okay.
Okay. Where do I sign?
On the link.
There we just put the link in the chat box. You just have to click on the chat box. We've already got a few emails, so make sure that you do it straight away to make sure that you are inside of the limit of 10. So just click on the chat, and there is a link over there for you, honey.
Cool.
And there's funny. I was thinking today, I need to update Auntie and learn about the next step for meetup group, and there you are. I know, right? That's really cool.
And Megan says,
crazy fun.
Crazy fun, the most amazing journey. That's one of my authors. She'll be launching this Friday. Any plans to come to Adelaide? I'll be in Adelaide on Monday, the 20th. I'm hosting 2 events on the 20th. Courts, if you want to connect with me on Facebook, I can give you some more info. I'm speaking at a networking event in the evening, and I'm hosting my 10 to 5 event. So big day. You can come and hang the whole day for Adelaide.
That's really
this coming Monday I'm flying in, and the events are on Tuesday. Okay. Yep, I'm there from Adair. Fiona just has another question. We obviously will stick around until we've answered all of this stuff. Would you recommend finding a one-on-one business mentor, as Francesca mentioned before? If so, how would you go about doing it? What are the things you look for when you're considering getting one? Thank you again, ladies. Such an amazing webinar. Okay, do you want to answer this?
Yeah, so at the beginning of my journey, when I was really inexperienced in business, it was really great for me to have those coaches and mentors. I've learned along the way to fire the mentors and always choose someone that is doing bigger and better things, and they're happy to take you to the to the next level. So for me, finding mentors is really like going to these webinars and find people that are doing what you want to do, and ask them to mentor you, and ask them, and I actually now do courses of people that I see, like Natasa. When I met her, I did her course, right? I wrote a book to her course, and then from there we started to work together and collaborate as well. But I can say Natasha has been a great mentor to me at the beginning of this journey, for sure, and she still is. So for me, mentor is finding someone that they're already achieving what you want to achieve, and learn if they've got a course, if they've got whatever they've got, learn from them, and then ask for one-on-one time if that's what you want.
Yeah. Cool. Sierra there. Oh, awesome. I hope to see you on the 20th. And yes, Courts, it's 20th next Tuesday. It's like next week. Literally, I'll be there in 8 days' time, not October. Okay, I think that was it. For me, just a quick one on the mentors. For me, I've never looked for one. The teacher has turned up when I have been ready. I've had 3 one-on-one mentors on my journey. Always up the ante every single time with them, financially and strategy-wise, and it's paid back 100-fold back in terms of what I invested in that, because I followed their advice, I took action, and I never actually, I just went on gut feeling. But I believe that your mentor should have the results you want and be well ahead of you. And your goal should be to outgrow your mentor, which I have done with all my three. So there you go. So just, and we know we want to be respectful of your time. I know a lot of you have sent thank yous. I'm not going to read through all of them. We want to let you go enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for all the amazing feedback and that's just coming through from about 20 different people. And enjoy the night. We look forward to helping those of you that choose to join us for our online course or the bundle. And we'll send through all those recordings as well as links separately for different things as you see fit to use them. So have an awesome night.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, Nat.
Bye.